What's up, Facebook? Welcome, world. So, this is day 4 of my Fuck Fear Challenge, and today I wanted to talk about congruency as well. But before I get there, I wanted to make a confession because although I didn't experience the traditional resistance around making this video, I've been feeling really emotional this week, and it's been really hard to get up the energy to be enthusiastic about doing things, right? Because we always want to have a lot of energy and do things, but we also have to take time to just be and to nurture ourselves. So yesterday I woke up and I felt really peaceful and everything felt good, although there was something kind of lurking under the surface, and I realized that there was this sadness and I felt really emotional. And so I kind of made the decision, should I get out of bed? Should I get back in bed? Should I meditate more? Should I go to the park? So I went on a 4-mile hike and got out in the sun, got the wind on my face, sat on a bench and just sort of, was swinging my legs back and forth like I was a child. And I didn't really care what anyone thought, jamming out to my music. And I sort of rebalanced myself and I felt a little bit better. But, fast forward, got to lunchtime, made some really good long grain rice and mushrooms, had, the little salt up in there, and just hysterically burst out into tears and was crying for a minute. So I've been feeling like, a lot of my friends have been messaging me, a lot of my healer friends and people who are empathic. The energies are really erratic right now, and people are feeling emotional. I don't know a lot about astrology, but I do know that Venus moved into Cancer, and it will be there until the end of August. So if you're feeling emotional and you're feeling really vulnerable, like you don't want to be seen or you don't have the motivation to do stuff, know that it's normal and just know that it will pass. For me, when I start feeling really emotional or sad, I start thinking, oh my God, what's this about? Like, what's happening? Should I contemplate? Should I attach to this? What's going on? But I just kind of had my little burst of tears, and then it happened a couple more times, and I was like, okay, this is what it is. It's one of those days. So, in moving through that, I just kind of went along with it. So know that if you're struggling, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now, and it's totally normal. I wanted to do a shout out to my friend Benny, who asked me, Benny Stanton and Jessica Sings, who I love, who are in England, and I'm going to say this wrong, but they live on a farm in Wootton Bassett. I think that's correct. So hopefully I did it right. But and give a shout out to everybody else who's joined and who's private messaged me and said that I've made a difference in their life and inspired them. You're inspiring me with your comments, and you're inspiring me to keep showing up, even though today I didn't really feel like I wanted to be seen. I'm showing up again for the day 4 to make a video and to speak my truth. And I want to talk about congruency, which you may remember from geometry. To be congruent is basically similarities and likeness. So I think congruency is really important in our relationships. It kind of lets us evaluate, whether a relationship is draining us or lifting us. So I want to talk about how we can be congruent. So to be congruent, we must ask ourselves, are the words that I'm speaking aligned with the energy that I'm feeling, aligned with the actions that I'm, partaking in? So am I being congruent in my relationships? And what I'm saying, what I'm saying is similar to what I'm doing. And I think it's important to sort of evaluate that. Are the people in your life saying one thing but acting another way and their energy feels another way? I think that that's one of the reasons why interactions can be really, really confusing, because sometimes people say one thing but then their behavior displays something else. And I think that's responsible for a lot of the misunderstandings that we do have in our interactions in the world. So I think the two things that I've realized that are really, really helpful when interacting with other people and thinking about congruency is two things to remember, is that everybody is behaving from their point of reality. So my point of reality, you're never going to know what that's like, just like I'm never going to understand what your point of reality is, how I feel, what my energy is, sort of distilled through my belief system and what's happening. And basically, we really have to think about, if it's somebody else's point of reality, then that's their point of reality. We just have to accept it and send them compassion. We're not always going to be on the same page. And the second thing is everyone's doing the best that they can from the level of consciousness that they have. So, every day we're learning, we're growing, we're seeking, and basically, we're elevating all the time. So whatever level we're at or whatever tools we have, we're doing the best that we can. We're always doing the best that we can. So when somebody is maybe behaving in a way that you don't think is acceptable, you have to remember that they are doing the best that they can and not to take it personally. We often tend to take things personally, but we really can't. So I think that when we think about congruency, we really need to think about, is this relationship lifting me or is it draining me? Are they doing the best that they can? Of course they are. So we need to evaluate whether or not that relationship is something that we want to keep in our life or we need to move out of. Is it harmful or is it lifting me? So let me know what you guys think about congruency, because I think that nobody really thinks about it, but I think when we do think about it, we can actually do better. We can really check in with ourselves in our heart space and say, am I being congruent? I said that I love this person, I was going to show up for their show. Did I show up? Maybe I didn't, maybe I did. And I think that it sort of holds us accountable to show up in our lives with people and in the relationships and connections that we do have. So let me know what you guys think about congruency. Do you feel like you're being congruent in your relationships? Do you feel like the people that you're in relationships with are being congruent? Or is there some sort of, disconnect? But again, everybody's doing the best that they can. These are just things for evaluating whether or not we want to continue those relationships and whether or not they feel good. So that's my short video for today. Obviously, I'm a little bit out of it, sort of tongue-tied, kind of, just not super high vibe today, but I'm going with it and I showed up for you guys and I appreciate you guys showing up for me and jumping on and your comments. So I'll leave you with in love we know, in love we flow. Everybody have a great week. I'll be back.